Hey everybody, Becky from Wake 99ers. So I know I don't usually put videos out at this time of day. It's 1 a.m. when this video is going to live. And the reason for that is the embargo has finally lifted for Dark Phoenix. So while this is going live, if you're watching it as it premieres, that's great. If not, you're probably sleeping like I am. So before I even go into reviewing the movie, I just have to tell you, while I love Marvel movies, this is Marvel Light. It's 20th Century Fox, so it's not Disney, Marvel Cinematic Universe style. I've never been a huge fan of the X-Men movies. Like, the first one came out, I think I was a senior in high school, and the guy I was dating at the time and another friend that was in town forced me to go see it at the theaters. Wasn't a huge fan then. I think of all of the Marvel movies we only own one of the X-Men, and that was the Futures Past one. So with that being said, I do love Deadpool, and I do love some of the spin-off ones. It's not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm not a huge comic book nerd. I love the movies, but, you know, in general, X-Men movies for me have always kind of been a hard sell. But I will say, when I first saw the trailer for Dark Phoenix, this one actually looked interesting to me. It's Jean Grey's backstory. It's how she gets the bulk of her powers, not all of her powers. She's a mutant to start, and it shows how she absorbs all of this celestial power, basically, and becomes the strongest of the X-Men at the time, as well as, you know, how she becomes Dark Phoenix. So, with all of that being said, I will have a full review of the movie on my site going live at the same time as this video. It will be linked in the notes above if you are on YouTube. If you're not, there will be a link in the show notes below. So in general, I will say that I actually walked out of this movie and I had enjoyed it. If you are not a huge comic book nerd, you're going to go into this one and see it for what kind of movie it actually is. It's a superhero movie. You know, it's her backstory, it's her origin story. So with that being said, leaving it, I heard a lot of complaints from other people. They kind of take a couple different origin stories and a couple different versions from the comic books, from the different, you know, parallel universes, and they kind of mesh them some together, and then they add in some different elements. So there's some complaints there from major comic book fans. However, it is an interesting story, how she gets the bulk of her powers, how she becomes as strong as she is, and what kind of motivates her and what makes her the Dark Phoenix, not just Phoenix. Going into this, you are going to have a lot of the characters you know. Beast is there, Raven is there, Magneto is there. So you are going to have the major characters you know. And overall, the movie is pretty good. I will say it's kind of one of my complaints that I had for even Endgame. The whole movie is basically, the bulk of it is kind of backstory. And there's like one big battle scene. So it is just under 2 hours. So you're going to be sitting there a long time waiting for any real action. There are a couple smaller scenes. There's something right at the beginning that kind of, you know, makes you gasp a little bit. But in general, for an origin story, I don't think it was a bad one. I've seen a lot worse ones come out from DC. So that being said, Dark Phoenix is in theaters this Friday. So I believe it's Friday. I will make sure I put the correct information in the notes as well. So you can get your tickets for it now. If you do like the X-Men movies, I don't think this is a bad addition to the series. And, you know, if you like these backstories, I think it's a good way to go. I kind of question a couple things as I watch these movies. One, I always have a huge question, and this is any superhero movie. I'm always very curious, like, what the actual, like, real life cost of repairing everything they destroy in these battle scenes are. Like, there's the big battle scene at the end, and, you know, houses are destroyed, streets are destroyed, subway cars are pulled up through the ground to the top of the road. What would that cost for that area to repair it? I'm just always kind of curious. I'm sure there might be videos on that out there. I just don't personally feel like going out and doing that research. So if you know a video that does that, let me know. I'm just always kind of curious about that. And, you know, I'm also kind of curious because they are Marvel characters. I mean, they are Marvel characters, but they're not part of the MCU. I'm always kind of curious how this fits into like the MCU timeline, if it does at all. I mean, we know Deadpool may or may not be showing up in a Spider-Man movie soon. We know that he's going to start kind of creeping in. We have seen some of the X-Men characters kind of blend into the MCU. So I'm curious how this is going to kind of feed into that. And also with the, you know, the new merger with Disney and 20th Century Fox, that seems like it's going to be probably something in the future. So, with all that being said, when you do go see the movie, come back. Let me know what you thought about it. I could be totally wrong. You might think I'm wrong. Let me know. If you think it's the best movie ever, absolutely let me know. So, otherwise, we'll be back on Friday, I believe. We have something pretty special coming on Friday. So, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys later this week. Bye.